if we don't hold ourselves accountable, our circumstances, our environment, and our universe will. And what I mean by that is when you don't check yourself, you wreck yourself. I did not plan on that. That just came out of nowhere. When when you don't have any framework for yourself, framework will be provided for you. And that is simply to say that when you don't draw a healthy boundary for yourself and you don't draw a line for yourself with other people, it can be really with anything, there will be one drawn for you. And that is why taking agency and autonomy and whatever action you can to be proactive in your life is so essential, because if you don't, it'll be taken for you. It's kind of like muscles, like you use it or lose it. It's, kind of like your brain. And so with that said, what we're going to get into is how to protect your energy with a healthy boundary. And how this all started was, what is the benefit of speaking up? And when we speak up, we're essentially speaking up. When you look at the actual phrase of it, you're voicing yourself because something is going on that's been going on for so long that it requires you to speak up. It's kind of the idea that the version of yourself that is fed up is the version that's going to change everything. The version of yourself that speaks up is the one that breaks the silence. The version of yourself that speaks up is the one that is going to break the chain and pattern of the activity or behavior that's been going on that is not serving you. And that speaking up may not even be to somebody. It may just be within yourself, saying, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And that can be a private contract with yourself. But one of the things that is a benefit of speaking up or drawing a healthy boundary is you are now protecting your energy. And I cannot emphasize it enough that the word protecting is active. You are actively protecting your energy. This is not just, yes, I protected my energy yesterday and now it's all good. I cannot emphasize this enough that there is always some pernicious or tactful or skilled element out there. That could be in the form of a person, could be in the form of a intrusive thought, could be in the form of habitual activity, could be in the form of substance that takes away your energy, strips you of your energy to be you, to approach your desired outcome, to get the things that you want. There is always something out there that is going to challenge you. And many times, this is a good thing, because if you are not impressed upon with the challenge and then you hold your ground, well, then you really don't have a whole lot of, experiences to remark back upon that define, who it is that you are and what it is that you want. And one very quick story that I'll give you, and I can give so many based on this, is I would... This one is so weird. I would go around the campus, the college that I was at, and I would post up as many posters as I could. I think we would get like 300 to 500 posters, 11 by 17s. And I had this staple gun, and used the staple gun so much I had to go it just was, my forearm had like cramps and issues from using the staple gun. I think there was a staple hammer that I was supposed to be using, but I would put these posters up everywhere. I'll never forget this. An old professor came out, walked right out of one of the buildings. It's this big hall, mall. They called it the mall, where it's this giant field, and they had pillars in the mall where you would post your poster. And this guy came out. This is so weird. And he said, he was walking by me, and I had put up 12 posters that covered the whole thing. He said, "And what makes you so important that you get to post your poster over everything else?" And he walked by. He didn't even stop stride. He just kept walking. And I think I said, because we have a show and I want people to come to it. And he just kept walking. But I'll never forget the fact that I was just going about my business. Baby was just doing his thing. and somebody came up and was like, what makes you feel like you're so important? Huh? Nothing. I want this show to get packed out. And the challenge was, do you really believe in yourself? Do you really think what you're doing is going to make a difference? And my answer was, yeah, I really do think it's going to make a difference. And the issue was with that situation was when you don't draw a healthy boundary or speak up for yourself, you run the risk of disbelieving yourself or losing belief in yourself or losing steam, or here's a big one, questioning how do I put this? I would say questioning the proactivity that you've committed to. This is what you do. You know that you want to do this, but now you're questioning it. Like, should I be in a band? Should I be doing music? Are we really that important that I should be putting up posters right now? And when you start to question yourself, you start to absolutely like hemorrhage energy everywhere. It is just, you're losing it all. You're spending so much energy thinking about it that when we break down to the Pareto principle, you spend 80% of your time dealing with 20% of the project. And it's not even that. It's like 20% of the effort is going to complete most of the darn project. Just concern yourself with that and keep it moving. So when you protect your energy, you are standing firmly in the belief of what you're doing. That is what you were doing. And you have to draw a healthy boundary on that. And you have to understand that every single turn, every step you take with your project or with your desired outcome, you will be met with a challenge. New level, new devil. It happens all the time. And the one thing that people will suffer from is that they think that when they get to a certain place or a certain level in their craft or in their relationship or whatever it may be, they think that they are absolutely, they will be met with no more challenges. They think that this will never happen again. They're devoid of any pushback. It will happen. And it will happen in the most strange, unexpected ways. So when we talk about protecting your energy, the first thing, what I would say to protect your energy is understand it's an active verb. This is happening at all times. And you can put mechanisms in place that are unconscious competence to keep your energy protected. One of these ways may be some people who have issues with substance abuse. They stay away from it. We talk about this in terms of essentially removing yourself from a problem. Some people may say, to get away from using a particular drug or drinking, they'll say, I had to move to the other side of town. Or some will say, I had to move to a different country. So you just can't be in that space anymore. When I was a sophomore in high school and I had this self-discovery breakup, I didn't even know what was going on. I was in a relationship and me and this gal broke up. And I went to my counselor and I said, I can't cope with seeing this person all the time. This is awful. And I don't want to bump into her like between classes, so I'm timing myself so I don't like run into her. And so the counselor and we came up with a plan. She said, what if you just move your locker? I said, what? I could do that. I think I could do that. Yeah, it's a great idea. Huh. I'm just going to go to the office and reassign my locker. And she was like, yeah, go, do it. I moved to the other side of the school. How about that? I moved to the other side of the school and it was fine. And the thing is that it protected my energy. And it was an unconscious, it was a mechanism in place. I would have to put forth effort to go back to the old locker and then endure the same hemorrhaging of energy that I was enduring before. But now that I was in a different place, we're all good. So understand that it's an active verb. 2, you can put mechanisms in place to preserve that activity, to preserve the activity of you protecting your energy. What is that healthy boundary? A healthy boundary, sometimes we think of it as like, this is the line that I'm drawing and none shall pass, or it's a gate, whatever. But a healthy boundary can also be a wheel that's always spinning, a cog that's basically keeping water going to the well for you. And you can think of it as like something that is keeping you and your belief maintained, keeping you going, keeping you there, keeping you standing firmly. And once that's happening, well, now we don't have to worry about having to take another stand or tell these people again and again what we're about, it's already right there. I shan't be explaining myself any further. Oh, that's a line. It found its way again. I shan't be explaining myself. I shan't. So 1, understanding is an active verb. 2, putting a mechanism in place to preserve that activity. And 3, I really am a big believer of what happens when you have energy. Because a lot of people, they don't understand the reality or the life that is with the energy. So sometimes we have this new life, or we have this new version of ourselves, and we're like, we don't know what to do. We're just going to go, they're going to go use the energy on something that might have the same results as their former selves. Have a plan. Have a plan. Because when I started, there was a lot of things going on with the music I was making, and I was in a space. I remember Vivi Brown, she wrote that song, Shark in the Water, or something like that. But she said her first album, she was traveling all over Europe just to get the album done. She was between several different studios. She was all over the place. Like, you can imagine the amount of energy that was spent going to all these places, but she had to do it. She wasn't with the label, I don't think, or the money just wasn't there for her to get it going in regards to that. So she had to take these drastic steps and measures to make this album happen. Now, after that, the idea is, okay, what do you do when you just have one studio and you have like the dedicated people? We're coming back to this. Live in the feeling fulfilled. Have a plan for when it's all there. Have a plan for when that energy is back in the reserves. Have a plan for when you're not a energetic or emotional sieve with all this other stuff coming through. Because now that you've drawn the healthy boundary, you've spoken up for yourself, you've said no more to this pattern, now you have a lot of things that are back. Now you have a lot more reserves and you have a lot more energy. What is the plan with that going forward? Because a lot of people that win the lotto, the money just goes back to wherever they were spending it anyways, because they never had a plan or the financial literacy to deal with it. You need to get with some energetic literacy to understand that once you have energy, what is the most efficient way to use it that's going to serve you and get you towards your desired outcome, or get you living already within the feeling fulfilled of your desired outcome. That is, all of that is a bar. Write that down, neural knowledge. But I say that because I can't emphasize it enough. When we start having a plan for how we're going to do this, great. I remember we took several folks, they were going to start a podcast, and the media company that I was working with, I said, we're going to make it 2 seasons. But before we get done with this, I want you all to get together and have a conversation about what are you going to do with the money when it starts pouring in? And they were like, what? And I said, what are you going to do with the money when it starts pouring in? Just have a plan. That's it. There was no money there whatsoever. We, as an independent media company, I was fronting the bill, was financing this project. But I said, for them, when it happens, what do you want to do with it? Just think about it. When the success happens, we're not questioning it. Because when healthy boundaries get set, when we speak up for ourselves, when we declare that it's going to happen, it's not a question anymore. We're doing it. It's going down. Dog, there's no other way. This is it. I already declared it. It's happening. I'm living in the feeling fulfilled. Now what will we do when the bank account is full? What will we do when the batteries are full? What will we do? What are we going to put this towards? I think that is really, really, really where it's at, because once you start engaging with all of that, now it's got to happen. It's got to happen. The desired outcome has got to happen. And you protecting your energy is going to be an unconscious competence that is just happening daily, hourly. And in the beginning, when it may have hurt to have to tell people, no, I do not have time for this anymore, or I can't commit to that, now it's just a known. People will actually cross the street away from you if you already know you're not going to waste your time with a certain thing or a certain conversation or a certain treatment. Folks will already they'll get it off bat. They'll be like, yeah, I guess I'm just going to go I'm going to go try to be a energy vampire over there. So they will not approach you. It won't even be like that. I have a friend who who works in a very, very, I don't want to say important, but he's responsible for a lot of people. I'll just say that. He doesn't even, there's no time that he wastes with any of the BS. Like, he is very intentional, very specific about where he puts his time. But the point of that being is that he's not fun to just like give energy to anybody. I love using the word funna, by the way. It just so, funna is just like, nah, you ain't fun to do that. Like, it also is like, it can be applied to a healthy boundary. Like, I know you ain't fun to do that. While I'm here, Oh, say what you will about language. I love it. But he does not really bend at all for any of the BS. He is out of there quicker than anybody can give him a proposal to basically take his energy. He protects it very well. And he can pick up on it a mile away. That'll be the other thing that happens when you start protecting your energy. You will pick up on places that have been trying to steal it, have been stealing it like a thief in the night for so long. For so long. It's so crazy. I almost sounded like Seinfeld for a second there. For so long. They've been stealing it for so long. George. But you will then start to notice, you'll pick up on spaces and people that have been taking this energy. Tacitly, just like boom, just taking it. So look, let's fly over this again, if I may. So understand that protecting your energy is an active verb. 2, you have to understand that you can put a mechanism in place to keep that protection going, to keep your energy maintained. And lastly, develop energetic literacy and have a plan for what you want to use the reserves for now that you have them, now that you're not depleted anymore. What are you going to do with that to build upon your desired outcome? All right? I know that you're going to do it. This is going to be great. This is going to be so awesome. You won't even know it hit you, and you're going to have energy, and you're not going to have time for a lot of the BS anymore. I know that you won't, because you're already done. All right. I was gonna curse there for a second, but no, I'll just say it. Just get out there and kick ass, man. We'll see you in the next video.